I want to homeschool, but I've just got too many kids. They're everywhere. All right, here are some practical ways to homeschool with multiple children without feeling overwhelmed. Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm probably a lot like you, a hesitant homeschooler. I never imagined I would be homeschooling my kids, but I knew the school system wasn't going to work for us. In 2023, I started a podcast to learn everything about homeschooling. What I discovered has inspired me to leave my government job and fully embrace homeschooling. Now I'm here to share with you what I have learned to help you homeschool with confidence and ease. All right. Let's break it down. You've got kids, a lot of them, and you think, I can't homeschool them because how am I going to help my 16-year-old excel in math while I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old how to read? It is overwhelming. I totally get it. I have some tips from the experts that I have spent the last 2 years interviewing to hopefully help you make this a smooth, easy, and enjoyable process. All right, number one, practical way to homeschool with multiple kids without feeling overwhelmed. Do family style learning. What is that? I remember hearing about this and going, all right, is it like when you go to like the macaroni grill and they just bring you all these huge plates? Well, pretty much. It's the same way with the learning. You teach subjects like history, science, writing, all as a group, assigning different levels of difficulty to each child's skill level. Everyone learns the same topic, but each child's tasks or assignments are tailored towards their abilities. This is a great way to involve all of your kids in the same subjects. So for instance, let me just paint the picture for you if I can. You are teaching about World War I and you are reading books, both children's books about the time period, which I love as a 40-year-old. So they will not be too young for your teenagers. In fact, it'll probably put it into a context that they'll really understand and grab hold of versus, kind of a more dry book. But you can also assign the teenager a more older, more mature book about the time period for them to do on their independent work. But you are reading the children's book to the group. You can assign an art project for everyone to work on together. So whether that be just giving them a painting from that time period and having them replicate it or coming up with their own. They can all have different varying levels for the art. You can play music from the time period. Everyone would enjoy that. You can cook a dish from the time period and involve everyone in that. So there's really so many beautiful ways that you can incorporate one subject to all different ages. Okay, number two, you're going to want to separate math out because that's going to be that hard one where, if someone's learning 1 + 1 and the other one's learning trigonometry, it's just not going to work. But that's okay because you can assign math through different processes like utilizing online courses or tutorials or even some, like I know our Math UC has a video. So that's something that child can work on independently while you're working with the younger one. And then you can swap when they need help. Math is typically taught separately because each child may be at different levels. Likewise, if a child is studying a specific subject like a foreign language or an advanced science, that can be handled individually as well. There are, however, some programs like Flip Flop Spanish that the whole family learns. So that's a great one too. Check that out. Flip Flop Spanish. I have a link I can give you in the description below. All right, number three, use multi-subject criteria. Number three, use multi-subject curriculum. What does this mean? Okay, resources like Treehouse, Schoolhouse, Nature Studies covers multiple subjects. History, geography, science, reading, writing, music, art, all within the same curriculum. It's not like you're taking 20 minutes to do history, 20 minutes to do science, 20 minutes to do reading. No, it's all together, all combined, and it's all on the same topic. So again, what does this look like? For instance, we did our Treehouse Schoolhouse, which is a woman, Lindsay. She came up with this program. She's very Charlotte Mason-like. And if you'd like to know more about the Charlotte Mason method and the other methods of homeschooling, make sure you subscribe because I have videos coming out on that and how you can pick the right one for you and your family. But Lindsay created Treehouse Schoolhouse and has nature studies. She has studies for Easter and Christmas and all sorts of things. We have just loved using those because I don't have to have one curriculum for history and one for reading and one for art. It's all blended together. And it also, so it's quicker, right? Because like they're just all in that one curriculum. We're blending things, layering them on top of each other and really getting that whole experience. So, all right, let me paint this picture for you. We were just doing our fall nature study a couple months back, and you start out with now my kids are younger, but she has it tailored to suit whatever age, just like in the first part that I talked about. You start with possibly a hand rhyme for the younger ones, and the older ones are doing it too, and the younger ones are sort of joining along and copying them. So you're hearing different music. You also play a song from the time period. You look at artwork from a famous artist. There is a poem from a famous poet. There is geography where you are looking up where that poet is from. So we take out our globe, we find that on the map compared to where we live. We have, there were projects to do, and some of this involved art, some of it involved cooking, so lots of fun. Some of it involved nature. So we really enjoyed doing this, and there were books that we would order through an app, through our library, and the books would come right to the library. I'd pick them up, and they'd go right along with what we were learning for that particular subject. So for instance, one week was learning about the moon and its cycles. Another week was learning about deciduous trees. Another week was learning about arachnophobia? No, not that. Arachnids. I didn't know what they were. I just knew about the movie. Okay. So when you have a multi-subject curriculum, it really allows you to teach across the ages while varying the difficulty, again, based on each child's developmental stage. So whether you're teaching across ages, like in the first part I was discussing, but you're doing a separate English, a separate science, a separate history, or you're blending them all together in a multi-subject curricula. And you might blend a couple and do a couple separate. It's all what you guys are enjoying at that time in your lives, and it might look totally different the following year. All right, number 4, you can do group projects. Assign group projects that allow the kids of various ages to collaborate. This fosters teamwork and can make learning more enjoyable while teaching valuable skills. The older ones learn how to teach. The younger ones are taking direction and really absorbing what the older kids are saying. Sometimes it works out a little bit better than mom or dad teaching the little ones. Number 5, using online programs. There are so many online programs. I totally get it. We're homeschoolers. We generally don't want to use online programs. We want our kids to love books and love reading. But there's a time and a place and a healthy way to do everything. The way I see it is technology is here to stay. So if there is technology that can help us out in life, like ChatGPT, I'm gonna use it, okay? While I don't rely heavily on it while my kids are young, but there are amazing online programs that you can use. For instance, for subjects that require more independent work, utilize the online programs or pre-recorded lessons so that the older children can work on their own while you can focus on the younger ones. Some great examples of this are the Tuttle Twins Academy, OutSchool, Keystone Online, School of Humanity, and True North Academy. And that's just of the people that I have interviewed on my podcast. I'm sure there's even more programs out there to suit your needs. The point is, if there's something your child wants to learn, there is a way that they can learn it. Number 6, incorporate real-world learning. This is so important. I think we take for granted how much learning is around us every day. You could go through your child's whole school career and never have an actual curriculum, and they'd be just fine. Taking field trips, going on nature walks, visiting your local museums where children can participate and learn together. These are all amazing ways to learn, and you can do this across multiple ages. Real-world experience makes learning more engaging, and you can cover multiple subjects at once, just like we talked about before. So I love utilizing, the old buildings that are, right in our big cities. going to parks. We have a few state parks where I'm from. There's always programs going on. You could go there just to explore, or you could actually take part in their programs. So there is really so much, and a lot of it is at low or no cost. So that is something to definitely take advantage of. All right, number 7, staggering schedules. So set up a schedule that allows you to focus on one child at a time for a short period, giving the others independent work or time to engage in hands-on learning activities. So if you didn't want to do all group subjects, you can break it up this way. Maybe your older kids sleep later, so you work with the younger ones when they wake up in the morning, and then you give the younger ones a project to do. My favorite advice from one of my guests on my podcast was to take all of your toys, put them all in bins and label them, bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4. And then each day you take out a new bin and you put it away at the end of the day. This way, every time the child takes out a new bin, it's like having brand new toys all over again. This totally works too. The problem is you actually have to put the bin away at night. That's where I always seem to fall short. But you know what? It works. It works. They feel like it's Christmas every time they open a new box. So while you work with the older children, to have a new bin that you can open up for the little ones, or maybe some paint out or coloring books. There's all sorts of things that you can give them. I mean, sometimes I do resort to the cocoa melon. It's terrible, but you know what? I do it. They're alive. They're safe. They're loved. That's how I look at it. I'm only human. I can strive for better, but it doesn't mean I'm going to get there tomorrow. All right, number 8. Older children can assist with tutoring the younger siblings, reinforcing their own knowledge while providing support for the younger kids. Utilizing the older siblings is definitely key. It's going to be so beneficial for them in the long run. And number 9, simplify and prioritize. Choose a few core subjects to focus on each day, prioritizing quality over quantity. This reduces the feeling of overwhelm and ensures a deeper understanding of the subject material. So don't feel like because your requirements in your state are 9 different subjects that you have to get to all 9 subjects in one day. That's crazy. I don't know why they do that in school. It's like so overwhelming. By the time the kids in school sit down, the bell rings, they sit down, attendance is taken, they all finally figure out what they're supposed to be doing that day. The bell's ringing for them to leave again. It's asinine. You could take a month and just focus on math. Math is one of those subjects where if you do a little bit every day, it probably is better at reinforcing. But something like history, you take 1 month and really get into the Civil War, and that's all your focus. You're reading books, so you're already covering English right there and reading. You're focusing on geography because you're talking about the Civil War. I'm sure the Civil War gets into some sort of geography. You can look at a map and there's going to be more than, there were different things going on. If you're concentrating on World War II for the entire month of November, you're going to be getting into subjects like reading, English, writing. You can write, have your child write reports on what they're learning, read all sorts of books on it, watch documentaries on it, take trips locally to you that may have been impacted by World War II. You're going over history, geography, looking at a map or a globe, and really relating where each country was and what side they were on and what they were fighting for, what their beliefs were, and why they were involved. And lastly, number 10, just create a homeschool routine that's flexible. Establish a flexible yet consistent routine that includes time for family activities, independent work, and breaks. You need the breaks. A routine will help manage multiple children while ensuring everyone has time for individual learning needs to be met. I would recommend games, board games. That's fun for the whole family, and they are so important to learning. We don't realize it because we're having fun while we're playing them, but mostly all games have some sort of educational element to them. Now, watch my upcoming videos because I'm really going to get into game schooling and what games you can use for what subjects and how to choose the games that your kids are actually going to want to play. But games have been a huge part of our homeschooling and something we just do often, probably daily, and they're so much fun. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss my upcoming content, because you don't want to miss the talk about game schooling. Don't forget to check out my podcast for even more insights from the over 100 families that I have interviewed about homeschooling. It's called the Homeschool How To. I'll see you in the next video where we will dive right in. Thank you so much for watching and for your love of the next generation.